Loading snacks.
What it do, snackers, snackettes, and snackers? It's your boy Gage. I'm here with Sin and Jokes. And it's time for another episode of Spoiler Boys!
Spoiler Boys!
Hey, that picture behind you, Jokes, almost look like She-Hulk yelling Spoiler Boys. Lean a little bit, lean a little bit.
Yeah, there we go.
You know what's up. You know what I mean? That's right. She-Hulk episode 7. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. Sam, what's your grade?
About an 8.
Jokes, what's your grade?
What if I said I wanted to step one of my other ones back and make a little subtle change?
I'm listening.
I think this episode is definitely better than the one that I gave the 9 to.
Oh, is this a 10, buddy?
No, it's not.
Is this episode a 10, buddy?
This is a 9 in my book.
This is a 9. This episode is a 9?
I think it is.
Do I need to strike the gavel?
Well, I can put it this way. I think I like this episode more than I like the one that I actually gave the 9 to.
So 9.5?
No, absolutely not.
No,
No.
I'm not doing
absolutely not.
halfies.
Well, he said he liked it more than the other
No.
one. He gave it.
I'm not doing
No.
halfies. No, I'm not.
What's
I'm not doing
happening
halfies.
is every other joint he graded is dropping a full grade.
Whoa, no, I didn't say that.
All right, so what you're telling me is, and again, listen, this is why we do this. The episode you gave a 9 to is now an 8. Is that what's happening?
I think is where I'm going to.
It is now on par with every other episode. And this episode is a 9.
This one is the 9.
All right, so now that episode is worse than it was. But it is no longer better than all of the other episodes that you have seen.
Yeah.
Listen, you get Hey, listen, that's not how numbers work. I'm just saying, I can understand if you like this episode better than that episode. What I don't understand is how now that episode is only equal to the other episodes you have seen. If that episode is now an 8 and that episode is better than everything else, because that was what your argument was, clearly, if that was
at that point, yes,
8.
at that point.
I just know this is not about at that point.
I'm walking with you. Okay.
Definitely. Then that means all the other episodes are down to a 7. Because at that point, everything else was an 8 and this was a 9. And I told you this was going to happen. And we still have 2 episodes left and we have seen ne'er a Daredevil.
No, we have not.
And I'm telling you right now, if this episode is a 9, the Daredevil episode absolutely has to be a 10. It has to be a 10. If it's not a 10, I can't trust you ever with anything.
I got faith that Daredevil one is gonna do us justice. Or do for that? You know what? Maybe I'll just keep both of them at a 9. I'll just. Hey, no, for the sake of an argument of where we're at right now, I'd rather keep the other Joan at a 9 because I'm not. The other ones are, at this point, the show is
they're
not
even. Like this episode and that episode evenly is what you're saying.
I think that's where I'm at currently right now. Because definitely this show is not C grade level at all. So going to a 7 with, I would say 70% of where we're at right now, I absolutely would not.
I think there are a lot of people who would beg to differ on whether or not this show is a C-level show. I think there are a lot of people who think this show is a C-level show. As a matter of fact, we got a direct tweet today from someone who was like, this joint is so meh, I think I'm out.
I
was
didn't
like,
see that.
I literally responded. I was like, "There's only 2 episodes left. You might as well finish it."
stay.
But
Been around this long.
but you know, listen, I think this show is super divisive. I think it's
Very.
super divisive. And I think depending on what you think or you thought or you expect out of the character, out of the MCU, out of what kind of show it is, it's one or the other. It's either hit or it's miss. For Jokes, it's super hit. Like, it's all hit. I'm like, look, the show's cool. I'm gonna keep it a buck. They're losing me right now. But they're only losing me because I know something major is coming and they're dragging it out. Right now, they're dragging it out. There are some things, again, like in this episode, like I said last time, that I know are going to pan out and end up being more significant later on.
Same guy.
Those are things for me that make sense as somebody who's more familiar with things that happen in the comics, right? So, but if you're watching this and you're not familiar with that, if you don't care about the books at all and what happens in any of that, I could see how you're like, what are they doing? You know what I'm saying? Jokes, I think we have to have a serious conversation about how scales work.
I know how scales work. We've been because we've been for the most of these shows, we've been, I would say, or even including other spoiler boys, I think we've all been kind of in the same ranges. We have our ups and downs, I think, each of us on certain places. But I'm
not saying that we don't generally see eye to eye for the most part on what we think of what we watch, especially after our discussions. I think we tend to kind of align with where we are. But there's a part of me that wishes I was sitting behind you and you didn't know it when you were watching this joint. So I could see, like, I need like a little clicker that counts how many times you jumped out of your seat. How many times you were like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Because there's no way this is a 9. There's no way. You're telling me that you watched this episode of She-Hulk and it was so good, you could not keep your voice from expelling beyond your lips. So multiple times. You got up out of your seat. That's 9-10 territory for me. Like, I got to be like hollering at the screen, like, girl, I can't believe you let him out. Let's go get Josh. Like, what is it?
I think it's a little bit more than that. I guess because one, I'm looking at this show, like, I know a lot of people are going as a whole, what is this show going? Like, it's an origin type setup, whatever you want to put it this way. So I think a lot of people were expecting this to be like She-Hulk just being out there and just, I guess, wrecking the whole entire time.
Hey, Jokes, I don't care about a lot of people. I care about you. I'm asking you how many times you got out of your seat watching this episode. I'm asking you how many times you broke your own silence and scared your girlfriend because something happened that was so exciting you had to release sound from your face while you were watching this joint that elevated this episode of this show to a 9.
Just laughs. Like, I've been saying, like, I don't.
You had tears. You had tears coming down your face. Have you ever laughed so hard you cried?
Oh,
ever?
Well, certainly. Sir,
this show did that for you?
I didn't say that did that for me.
How is that a 9 then? This is all I'm saying. Jokes, listen. I don't want to take away your 9 from you. I just want you to be able to honestly put into words for me how it is that this joint is so good that on a scale of 1 to 10, bro, I'll give you an extra number. I'll give you a 0. On a scale of 0 to 10, this episode of this series ranks a 9. It is your second 9 of all of these joints. I'm looking for the thing, bro. Like, I guess what I'm saying is if something then does make you jump out of your seat and go crazy, that joint has to be like a 12, like a 17, dog. If this joint is like, I don't know, it was just funny. How is that a 9? What? Listen, a 9 is like immediately as soon as you finish watching this joint, you texted me and sent like, bro, did y'all watch this yet? You have to watch. Who did you text? As soon as this joint was over,
I didn't text nobody.
Who?
I didn't text nobody.
He said he didn't.
I'm saying. I want to say. I just listen. I don't want to take your 9 from you, but this is almost like taking your black card from you. When you do something,
you take his MCU card from him.
You get ready to get your comic card taken, bro. Like I don't like. Here's the thing. I need for people to be able to trust what it is you say. You sit down and do a review. You talk about something. If you had to write down for people or explain to people right now, if you go on Twitter right now, the last episode of She-Hulk is an absolute 9. Twitter's gonna fry you, bro. They're gonna be like, what was you watching? What, where, why? And I want to know what your explanation is for what ranks this episode so high on the scale that it's almost at the highest height it could possibly be at. What is that?
So
Run it down for me.
So I guess for me, like, I enjoyed the fact that we got to see, She-Hulk a little more vulnerable in this episode compared to the rest of them. I feel like we saw her being vulnerable to everyone, having the conversations, talking about, like, once dude ghosted, we'll get to that. Like, I already knew what was happening.
You know what was happening, bro. We said that we called that in the last discussion.
Yeah, I said that as soon as it started, I was like, B was right. Before he even ghosted her, I was just seeing him on a date. I was like, B was right.
So I guess I like to see like that character side of things develop a little bit more. I get there was no action or anything like that. If we were grading it off of like action and stuff the whole entire time, most of these episodes wouldn't get no score, barely anything for it.
Sure. Again, I'm not looking for you. I'm not grading it based on action, right? I'm not grading it based on action. I'm not looking at any one piece of it. I'm looking at the episode as a whole and how the episode compares to the rest of what we've seen, and I am looking at it based on what I think it means for the remaining episodes and what it means we might see. Because as a person who is used to the way that comic books work like a good joke. There's a setup and then there's the hit, right? There's the punch. So I know this is a setup. Clearly this is a setup, right? And there's a lot that happens in the episode that again is probably over a lot of people's heads or doesn't really matter or necessarily make a lot of sense. And we are getting things that I think do help to define the character, right? Is it some of the best TV I've ever seen?
No, so I'm not saying no, absolutely not.
Then how is it a 9? What are you comparing it to that makes it a 9? Only to itself?
Only to itself. I'm not comparing this to anything else. If we're comparing this to other Disney Plus MCU shows or whatnot ever, then I honestly wouldn't put this next to like your Loki or your WandaVision. Like I wouldn't put this anywhere close to any of those. I'm purely basing this off of She-Hulk in the confines of She-Hulk. If we were going to do it that way, like if we were going to sit here and we were going to rate this 1 to 10, comparing it what we're in with the other MCU shows, this joint comes nowhere close to half the other MCU shows that we've seen so far.
I think that's an important thing to state. And here's why. I don't think you've given a 9 to any episode of any other Disney Plus MCU show we've watched, period. I don't think you've given a 9 to any of them. So, within the confines even of She-Hulk, What you're saying is that in 9 episodes, right now we're at 7. There are 2 left, and we already have 2 episodes that are equivalent to second to none. They rank a 9. What that means to me is, if you were recommending this show, even if you say I'm doing it on its own, if you were recommending this show to somebody, you were saying, yeah, you know what, you should check out She-Hulk, and they were to say, why? You're gonna say, oh man, because episode 7, oh boy, wait till you get to episode 7.
That thing was fire.
Are you?
I don't think I would. Yeah, I don't think I would do it that way.
I don't think you would do it that way either, which is why I think there's no way this episode is a 9 even for you. Again, if it is, that's cool. But then a 9 for what? For who? Based on what? Because if you're giving something a rank, you're not even if you're doing it for yourself. To me, like, I can't rank something for myself without somewhere in there that ranking being based on how I would recommend it to someone else, right? So even if you're saying my ratings for this show have only to do with this show and literally have nothing to do with Loki or, you know, Winter Soldier or WandaVision, like, throw all that away and act like you've never seen any other MCU show. Cool. If we were to literally just take, hey, if you haven't seen She-Hulk, here's our recommendations. Here's how we graded every episode. 8, 8, 8, 8, 9, 9. Right? With 2 more episodes to go. This show is sitting real close to perfect. Perfect. For this show. So, if I'm somebody who has no idea and I'm listening to you rank these episodes for just this show, I'm gonna be like, bro, I cannot miss this. And I'm gonna be like, I can't wait till I find out what it means to be hurting for a yearning or whatever, yearning for it. Like, here's what I want you to do. I really just want you to I want you to think, because here's why. It's perfectly okay for other episodes to be a 7. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I gave the last one a 7. Yeah, I gave the last one was my 7, remember?
Sure. And there was a 9 before that, and then the rest were 8. It's okay for the last episode to be a 6. And for the other episodes to be a 7. If that's the case. Right? Because I think that listen, I'd be willing to concede that there are things that happen in this episode that could put you at an 8. But a 9, bro? Bro, listen, I'm gonna push back all day on that.
Oh, we already know this. That's your job.
But I'm not just doing it because it's my job. I'm doing it because literally everybody else who listens to this is going to be thinking the exact same thing. Sin wants to know right now. As a matter of fact, Tatiana sitting behind you is like, a 9? Based on what? And that's all I'm asking for. You know what I'm saying? Like, a 9 is like a seriously high rating. It's almost a masterpiece episode. So if you say that, then of the 7 episodes we've had so far, this is your most highly recommendable. If you're watching She-Hulk, you gotta see this episode. And I don't see that. I just don't, you understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't see you saying that.
I guess because the way I see it is within the confines of, just like you said a second ago, like, I can have an idea of where this is going, And I know how we said by the time we get to the end, we'll probably feel a little bit different about the whole entire thing. But I feel like, at least if where my mind is taking me to where this is going to end up at, this is probably going to be the one that gives us, well, it did. It gave us the linchpin to, like, what Sin has been yearning for like the last 3 episodes now, to why his got the lowest. The answer to the Wrecking Crew. Like, as soon as I saw my man.
No, it didn't.
Well,
It didn't give us nothing.
What? It gave us the dude. Okay, the one dude. Like that's what I'm saying. Who was the
Let's just do this. Let's just do this real quick. Hey, Sin, are you satisfied with what it was you wanted to know about the Wrecking Crew?
Not even close.
Not even close, bro, because she grabbed this dude by the throat and didn't say, who sent you to stab me, bruh? Now, mind you, I don't even think she knows they tried to stab her. She didn't even notice it. Right? Who sent you? Why would you do that? Right? Which means either nobody sent them, or he doesn't know, or he does, and now that they're friends, we didn't even address this. Friends. Mind you, everybody who's in that room is a villain. Every single one. They're all real characters, and they're all villains.
And maybe I thought a part of that was funny too, because like they're not.
It is funny.
Yeah. So that, as I'm going,
it is funny. It's absolutely funny because they're throwaway characters, just like last week. I mean, all right. So here's what we're gonna do, jokes. We're gonna see where you are at the end of this discussion because we're already 20 minutes in, and right now. They already started the hashtag justice for jokes. We're gonna find out if they're gonna keep running with that.
It's fine. Sin got crap for the one episode he did. I'm gonna get crap for this one, so it's perfectly fine.
There's no way, bro. Sin.
Yes.
Talk to me about how this episode starts out and how you feel about the way that they run that montage in the beginning.
It gave the montage of them girl dates gave me like an old school 80s vibe kind of to it, you know, a little bit of cheesy but cute and all that kind of stuff. I didn't have a problem with it. I thought like I said, as soon as I saw like the going on dates and everything, I just had that feeling in my stomach like, it's all a setup type of deal. And sure enough, it turns out that it is. She wakes up after like their third date, after spend the night together. She wakes up and he's gone, and she's sending text messages, no response. Seems like she's been ghosted, and that just leads into the rest of the episode. Her completely stressing and spitting out about, why won't he contact me? Why won't he call me back for the rest of the episode?
She's very absorbed in that, right?
Yeah.
Hey, look, man. I don't not to be, too, but is it's 3 dates. Is that the limit? Is that the bar? Is it 3 dates? Is that enough? 3 dates that we met at a wedding. We consider this 4 technically. Like, is that the bar? I'm just asking because I just want to know, right?
Hey,
like,
bruh, I would like to know myself. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, been out the game for a minute. I don't know what this thing is. You know what I mean?
Maybe not, right? I mean, look, She-Hulk been on a date on like one joint, and
got
it in. So I'm not, this is not about being judgmental. It's just about
no.
It's just I'm just asking a question.
Yeah, I think the She-Hulk did it was like, that's not me. That's She-Hulk. She was still kind of separating them. This one, she's trying to just be Jen. She's just trying to be Jen and do it, I guess, how she thinks. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be done, if you will. And we see how it turned out. Didn't necessarily work out.
Yeah, I mean, all right. So I don't like Josh. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Well, we knew that last episode. Yeah. You made that perfectly clear.
Like,
I don't trust him, man. He smiled too much. Anybody able to show that much teeth all the time, bro? Something wrong. You know what I mean? Like, you just, I don't, so after the third date, she wakes up. He's gone. She shoots the text. Had a great time. Can't stop smiling. Okay. And then we just wait. Like, we going through, like, you know, we at work.
Yep.
About
Checking
to win
his phone.
Female Lawyer of the Year joint. Like,
Don't care.
got the nomination. Nah, but he
Checking that
Just waiting for that text to come through.
He ain't even text me.
Mm-hmm.
All one word. He ain't even text me. All one word. He ain't even text me. I hope he's not dead joint. Like just, you know, she gets some advice. Like, you know, you give it like 24 hours. Give it 12 hours. You know what I mean? Don't overdo it. But, you know, it's kind of one of them things where it's clear like Jen's not used to that kind of attention.
Mm-hmm.
Right? She's not used to having that kind of attention come from anybody. And, you know, so it probably realistically, you know, obviously it hurts, but like it probably hurts more that the situation is what the situation is. Now, currently, she don't really know what the situation is. We know.
Right.
She does. And we're gonna talk about what happened at the end, but you know, so she gets the call from Blonsky's parole officer, who clearly has made a couple trips out there and does not enjoy going out
Not at
there.
all.
I'm not sure why. Like, it seems so chill, but you know, my man's like, oh,
maybe his car got ruined at some point.
straight up, my man's like, your man's bracelet ain't quite working right, and gotta go check that out.
Yep. Mind going out there with me? Just
Thought it might
just
be
in
cool if a Hulk came along.
Can't get a squad, so
We'll keep it a buck. She was on her way out that joint and she was texting and driving. I thought she was gonna crash. I thought we were gonna have another crash or something that was gonna happen. It looked very reminiscent of the road that she was on with Bruce in the first episode when everything went down. I'm like, this ain't good. This ain't looking good. But she arrives, gate opens, and she just pulls right in.
Oh,
and
she
my
is
man
cool, man.
is shook. Like, wait, don't go without me. I ain't trying to. You're like, hurry, wait. I'm trying to. They get in, check things out. My man Blonsky just like, oh man, I just got zapped by the electric fence, man. I, you know, messing with my chickens.
I was like, what?
Okay. He seems to still be, you know, all zen and everything. Like, okay. Doesn't seem no funny business. All right.
I mean, based on the episode so far, I believe it. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily think he's completely in the clear.
Right.
Really? Like, for real? Why would you waste Abomination? You can't. You can't waste Abomination. So there's got to be more happening here. We'll see. Let me just throw this out there before we go any further. There is a part of me that does think that the Wrecking Crew dude is there to get a blood sample from Blonsky.
Okay.
Straight up. The coincidences are just too high, bro. You have the dude who she goes on a date with, who's asking about her impenetrable skin and blood samples and can vibranium pierce your skin. The last episode at the end, they show what appears to be a vibranium needle.
Him showing up in the office happened to be like, oh, he's a client. Yeah.
He shows up in the office and he's a client. They seem to know him, know who he is. The person who tried to use the needle is the only person from the Wrecking Crew who was wearing a mask. Makes me think that might be that same dude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the fact that this guy from the Wrecking Crew happens to be, again, somebody who was clearly hired in some capacity to be involved with attempting to get a DNA sample from She-Hulk happens to be in the same place that everybody knows who Blonsky is. Everybody knows that Blonsky is Abomination. The simple fact that this dude is there, not to mention that, again, like, I know that all the rest of the people who are there are also all criminals, but nonetheless, the fact that this person is there means that it could very well be, like, there's no, you couldn't plan for, like, She-Hulk to necessarily show up there and have an opportunity to get a sample from her, but, you know, if you're trying to get a blood sample from a Hulk and you failed at getting one from her, but this high-profile case where Blonsky was released and he's out there promoting himself as this new guru of, you know what I'm saying, self-help and whatever, that's a very easy in to get next to somebody who you know has some level of the DNA that you're looking for, right? So something about that just feels disingenuous to me, even if Blonsky doesn't have anything to do with it. The fact that this leader of the Wrecking Crew is here, maybe faking the whole thing, but could really be. I'm not even worried about She-Hulk because I'm gonna get a sample from Blonsky.
Probably got it already.
Quite possible, right?
And that's
it's quite possible.
And that's why his thing was, we know he calibrated it a little bit differently or whatnot ever, but maybe when he got the sample, that kind of set off, you know.
Well, we have no idea what happened to him when that electric jolt hit him. It could have knocked him out. It could have been fluke. Could have been a setup. Could have been any number of things, right? Yeah. I just kind of want to plant that seed and kind of keep that in frame of mind, because to me, the fact that Slim was there and that she had to go as far as to be like, hold up, did they previously own this dude?
That was
funny. I probably don't even know where y'all know him from, but I know y'all know him. Let's run it back.
Yeah.
The fact that we even bothered to do the callback to make it known that this dude is that dude, that, to me, there's a reason why you do that. Again, I just think that there are things that happen in this episode that are a little bit bigger than what it might seem like the episode is about. This is really the only episode that we've seen that doesn't truly have like an A story and a B story. This is all really one thing, and it's all about her, which I do give them credit for. Finally having an episode that really does basically just focus on her and doesn't really put you in
two different scenarios.
Some little storyline where you're following somebody else and kind of going back and forth. It's just about what's going on with her. So she shows up. My man is like, you know, it's just, I had a little incident with my chicken. Love that chicken. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Cool. It's good. Let's be out. They go to leave. Here comes Man Bull. And Aguilar, who is not a matador, but did do some matador in college.
Yep, that's right.
And just Rex-stroyed her vehicle.
Yep.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm just playing around roughhousing and just take out the Prius.
And was more or less nonchalant about it.
That wasn't the first time that's happened on the property.
Yeah, like your joint was in the field of play. Like, I don't, you know what I mean?
Collateral damage out here.
This ain't where the parking is. Parking's over there. You shouldn't be here.
Yeah, why are you here? Yeah. Man Bull and Aguilar, again, both real characters. Man Bull first showed up in a Daredevil comic.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, look, plot armor, right? There has to be a reason why she needs to stay, and we have to figure things out. And she's there with no cell service and walking around trying to. So we spend a lot of time, a lot of this day, just with her first being concerned about not getting a response, but then being concerned about the fact that she doesn't have any service, and now she's stuck
to receive a response if one comes in.
Correct. She can't even send
Can't
anything.
do that.
You just wanted to be like, well, let me check on.
Nope, can't do
There's
that.
no and no Wi-Fi.
No.
Blonsky's like, yeah, no, not around here.
We don't do that. We don't do that here.
It's not
That's
how
about
we
being
get
in the
down.
moment.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the moment, because your Prius got welcome to the moment.
Yeah.
Hey, dog, she changed so quick and flung that. She flung Slim. Like, hey, you just wrecked my Prius. You know whose Prius that is? She-Hulk's Prius. Like, so look, she ends up walking around with Blonsky. He's trying to talk her down, like, might as well just kind of hang out. Why don't you go in the yurt?
And look, things happen for a reason. Maybe it's a reason, you know. You're out here with no service and no Wi-Fi. Just, you know, maybe it's the universe showing you something.
Hey, why don't you just come in and sit down for a little bit, hang out with us, walk with the chickens? Yeah, nah. And my man, like, I kind of like the way my man, he was just like, you're clearly not in a mood to be like talking now right now. So I'm gonna let you have it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And she just kind of has to go off and discover. And I feel like by him doing that, she almost didn't have a choice but to end up kind of absorbing, kind of taking it in, because the one thing that she wanted to have as a distraction, she couldn't really.
Yeah.
Even though it does continue to be a distraction, it really does drag her around the property. Until she ends up in this meeting. She don't realize and finally gets a signal.
It's one bar.
Yeah.
Hey, yes.
A bar is a bar, bro.
True.
It'll take a little bit longer, but it will get out.
She in that joint with Porcupine Man. It's pretty sad. The QR code in this episode actually gives you the issue that Porcupine Man first shows up in.
Oh, okay.
And he pretty much looks just like that.
Mm-hmm.
He has this armor, and that joint shoots. It actually does shoot out darts. Yeah, man, all these characters are real characters. Now, dude's name, the black dude's name. Now I can't think.
Vampire dude.
Man, I get that.
Starts with a D. I can't think of it right now. But he is actually a vampire, and is like supposed to be like the first vampire in comics or whatever. But they definitely changed the character a bit, and I don't think this one is actually a vampire. But these other people are like mutants. You get to see like Aguilar actually use his
whatever Electrum.
Which was kind of cool. Again, introducing characters that are mutants and have mutant abilities within this show.
Totally doing it.
Little things that are just like this. Y'all might as well get used to it. Look, they end up having a discussion. She ends up feeling the need to kind of chime in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
My man walks into the room and she's like,
Huh?
"Oh, I know this. I know. Oh, I
He ain't
know
just
that.
walking here.
Yeah. Yeah, we get the whole previously on joint, which is probably the best fourth wall moment this show has seen. Previously on this dude right now.
Now, that part I did. I didn't think they were going to do it for a second. I thought
The
like
fact that she asked, like, I know I know they previously on at the beginning of that. They didn't.
Yeah.
They previously on this dude right now. Like, yeah, that might be.
Shut my man a chance. Man, boy was blown. Like,
hey,
oh,
I
man.
stacked those.
Hey, yo, man, boy, weak.
Oh yeah, all up.
All of them, man.
They just got them all out the way. We're like, none of these, they ain't gonna be no villain. Just get them in this one episode, be done.
But look, she ends up finally sitting down and kind of has that, that conversation joins. They end up kind of getting her to calm down. I like that they talked her into just being Jen.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? In the moment, which again, she was already Jen, just walking around. She went She-Hulk because she was trying to crush a guy,
Yeah.
trying to body someone.
And they got her to open up about, you know, her issues and insecurities she's going through right now and everything. Got her to open up about that, which was good.
Those weapons had us, you know, just acting like little boys, had us acting like idiots, doing dumb stuff. No, Slim, somebody paid you, bro.
Yeah.
To do
To
this.
do a job.
If you're gonna be idiots to do dumb stuff, you've been knocking over, you know, liquor stores or something like that.
Right.
Not going after She-Hulk. Come on.
I mean, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. If you had weapons that were imbued, if that were Asgardian,
Asgardian weapons, you're gonna
you
feel
might try. Like, let's not get it. Like, you might try. You know what I'm saying? You might do something dumb. Now, and when I say that, I'm talking about, like, again, he said they had us acting like little boys. So I just want you to think back for a second, Sin, how you used to act every time you came out of a dope kung fu flick. How you acted after you seen Surf Ninja.
Oh, I tried to serve my brother.
Exactly. After you seen Three Ninjas Kick Back.
Tried to serve my brother.
You know what I'm saying?
We
You
was
gotta
ninjas.
serve. So, like, if you had come across some Asgardian imbued weapons, a ball and chain, a crowbar, whatever, you might go out and try to do something.
Hey, I could be like Thor.
And
I
you
could be
might
like Thor.
attempt to do more than just a liquor store, because you're gonna go after, you know, something that I got. You know, these come from the same place that Mjolnir comes from. These come from the same place that Stormbreaker comes from. We about to go do something. What's up? Can't nobody stop us.
Can I
You
fly
might
now?
think you really got a shot, especially 4-on-1. You might think you have a shot. I'm just saying. They didn't have a shot.
Not even close.
But you might think you have a shot. Mind you, they attacked her in her regular Gen form at first.
Fail.
Yeah.
You know,
But they still knew it was She-Hulk they was going up on. They was running up on. Like, it's Hulk. It's a Hulk. Like,
not enough to try to stab her before she changed into She-Hulk.
yeah, look, that goes to the idiocy of trying it. So
That's actually
Yes.
probably the worst written moment of this entire show so far. That's just
she's
one
not
of those
even paying
things.
attention. Just stab. Done. We're out.
We out. We did it.
Mission
We
complete.
did it.
They could have probably knocked her
Let's
out.
go get
at
paid.
that point.
Exactly, bro. Because I'm gonna tell
They
you
could
what.
have knocked her out at that point.
If you're just trying to sneak the joint, you came up behind her, she didn't even know you had her. It took her like 30 seconds to even realize she
Yeah.
could turn into She-Hulk. Hey, bro, if you don't and get that blood and get low, nah, y'all want to fight. You know why they want to fight? Because they have
got
these
weapons.
Got weapons
Plans for
from
you.
We
Asgard.
got weapons.
Yeah, just dumb. You know what I'm saying? That's, you know. We get her talked down. She's kind of cool. They walk her out to the car. Everybody's friends. We about to go beat up Josh. What's up? Slim need to get it. He can get it right now.
I'm gonna drink his blood. Like, bruh.
Right.
Like, whoa,
What?
calm,
Relax,
calm,
motherfucker.
Chill.
calm that down.
Chill. I'm still waiting to, like, there's a part of me that, like, as I'm describing what's happening in the show, I'm waiting for Jokes to be like, yo, that part right there. It's not happening. It's not happening because it's not a 9, dog. It's not a 9. But man, bro, oh, that ain't right there. Nah, I don't think so.
Drink his blood. No, I'm sorry. I'll take it off. Just get the conversation off me right
Right.
now.
And hey, you know, look, we're going back to reality. We're just going back. We're gonna get off the farm, away from the ranch. And you know, we cut to my man 3 days ago. Here's what had happened was. See him copying her phone.
Yep.
Got all her contacts. Knows all their. They got Bruce number.
All right, try that.
Bruce
They won't
number.
be able to get him. They can try and try to look.
Who knows what else she got in that joint? Because all the
Yeah.
people that she dated in her dating app, all that's probably in there. Like, it's no telling. And
Her,
there's no
her
telling
clients.
what that means they'll be able to do, with her client information and stuff like that. Any information they can use. Again, this dude is a client. You know what I'm saying? Works for the, doesn't work for the company, but he has a relationship that existed with that company apparently before she did, because they all already knew who he was.
Yeah.
Right? So the fact that they're in a position to possibly use that against her. I'm pretty sure that in the trailers that we've seen where she shows up to what looks like a gala event or something like that, I'm pretty sure it's this Lawyer of the Year thing is what I'm thinking. Because we only got 2 episodes left. There was a brief mention, that she just kind of bypassed as just a mention, but I have to imagine it's going to play out as something important coming up. But we see Josh stealing the information from her phone, and then we see him texting Hulk King, who seems to be the main person from Intelligentsia. And just a couple of emojis, right?
Yeah.
Needle, blood, Hulk, like this is it. Like I got it. Yeah. What it seems like. Then he takes a picture of her, laid out in the bed. We don't know if that's for proof or if that's going to be used for something else.
I think it's going to be uploaded to the website.
Internet, probably to the website. Yeah, that's the only.
Could be. Here's the thing. I'm not positive he got her blood. It's making me wonder whether or not he just got an in or got some information or whatever, or just is now able to say that she's vulnerable. There's a part of me that feels like even if she was super asleep, unless he drugged her in some way, which doesn't seem to have been the case or doesn't seem to have shown up, how she would not know that
I completely agree. Stab
her with a needle somewhere. Like she should feel it somewhere.
Because that's what I thought. I was like, that doesn't make any sense, to be honest. Like, that's a big ass needle that they were trying to use to stab with.
Well, that's the other thing is that it would appear to me that if that's the case, they didn't use that needle, right? Because they didn't do it in Hulk.
As it was Hulk form, yeah.
So,
but still,
the fact that they show
woke up and walk around like, just some type of body language that she would have given off to be like, okay,
exactly.
Like my back is hurt. Just some type of reference somewhere in there. It wasn't
butt cheek jump, something. I'm walking a little funny, something, right?
Yeah.
There's a part of me that thinks he didn't get her blood, at least not yet, right? But that he has enough information. I feel like what they were doing is he's getting information that's in her phone that is sensitive, so they can just try to bribe her to give them the blood. That's what I think is going on, right? That he hasn't actually taken her DNA. He hasn't taken.
Just like, we got it in the bag now. We got what we need.
I got your picture. When I took this picture, I also got all your information. I know who, what, where, when. Boom, boom, boom. I got numbers for this person, this person, this person. I'm gonna give all this mess to Titania. I'm gonna do whatever. All you gotta do if you want to get your information back is come in. We just gonna get a little sample. And you can be on your way. And we know you're going to try to show up as She-Hulk. That's cute and all. We got this vibranium needle we can use to get what we need from you. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I think that that's what it is. There's nothing, especially because at the end of the last episode, they showed them with the bent needle and swapping out to the other needle. Well, that's the case. How could he have it? I don't think he has it, right? Because he would have had to either use that giant needle, or they had other needles besides that one. And we're just like, this is just in case. But then what's the point in showing that at the end of it after you show him with her? So I feel like it's just prep. And I also feel like because this is coming from Intelligentsia, which again, in the comics is this consortium of all of the smartest villains, like Egghead. And it's all, it's MODOK and all of them. And again, these are characters who we know are coming. This sounds like the kind of thing that they would do. We're going to take all the information she has. We have all this information that we can use. We'll send it to this place. We'll put it up on the internet here. We'll do blah, blah, blah here. Like, all that kind of stuff. Even with her having that very brief conversation where she's like, you're not worried about she's like, I'm not worried about the Intelligentsia people. I mean, they can't do nothing to me. I'm a Hulk anyway, right? It's kind of like, we understand who you are and what you are, and we know that what we didn't work, and we know that if we just try to quote unquote outright attack you, that's not going to go the way we wanted to go. But now we have a way to kind of force you
Yeah,
to
we
give
attack the
us what
vulnerable
it is.
side of it. Yeah.
Exactly, right? So you're not vulnerable in She-Hulk form, except for in an internet battle with Titania or whatever it is.
Mhm.
We have all this compromising information about you that we can leak to your job or can cost you, you know what I'm saying, whatever.
Yeah.
And so that's where I'm at. I don't think he has a sample. I think he now has the information that he needs. Again, because they showed him copying her phone. Right? So I think that's what it is. Now we have what we need to be able to bribe you to get what we want from you. And I think that might be why we have an end with a Matt Murdock, right? Because somebody is attempting to extort
blackmail her and they try to do
or blackmail her or something like that, right? And so now we have a reason maybe to have a Matt Murdock show up or whatever, even if he is just coming to pick up his outfit or whatever, you know what I mean?
Do you think he shows up to the awards?
I'm gonna be honest. I think he shows up in the next episode. This next episode, I think in the last episode, it's gonna be all about her.
Okay.
It could be that they don't. In my head, that's the way you do it. You let the last episode be about her just going in, showing what she wants and what she can do. That she is in fact the Hulk. Her coming to a true acceptance.
Yes.
Of this is who I am. This is what I am. Y'all ain't about to mess with me.
Finally putting on the outfit. Finally put it on. Yeah, let the last episode just be about.
Well, I think she'll be in the outfit in the next episode. I think she'll be in the outfit with Daredevil in the next episode. That's what I think.
Okay.
But I think that it's gonna put her in a position to be able to really show up and play ball the way she wants to play ball, right? And feel like, all right, well, if they gonna come at me this hard, I'm going back at them this hard. You know what I mean, or whatever. I feel like she's maybe gonna show up with an expectation that either that issue is already solved, and so I'm in the free and clear to just go be who I am, or it's not, but I've done enough that I can all right, I know what I'm walking into. I'm good. I got this. I think we get Daredevil in the next episode. Could he be in both episodes? Possibly. Could we see another cameo? Possibly. I think he shows up in the next episode, and I think the last episode they give to her and just let her rock out. You know what I'm saying? She got Wong on speed dial, kind of.
Yeah. She can definitely, call a favor.
She's gonna have some connections.
You know what I mean?
She already does.
Madison out there.
So correct. Madison to show up.
Oh yeah.
She'll show up. Lawyer of the party. Female lawyer of the year.
Yep.
That's probably what's gonna go down.
I would love to see that.
Kind of me too. We have not had an after credits for the last couple of episodes. Are we gonna have after credits in the next episode?
No.
Nope.
Last episode is gonna
only in the last episode.
This last episode.
Yep.
All right. We won't even try to guess at what that is. Sin, having discussed this episode out, are you still sitting at an 8?
Yeah, I'm still sitting at an 8. I was just like the other ones I watched about. I was entertained with it. I didn't laugh a whole lot out loud like I had some others, but I did have a couple hearty chuckles out there. But overall, it did keep me entertained the entire time. I wasn't like, oh man, is it over yet or nothing? I was entertained. It stays at 8 for me.
Jokes, you still at a 9?
I'm still standing in the same place.
Okay. All right. Next episode's a 10.
That one with Daredevil is going to be the 10. It's going to be the 10.
Whew.
If Daredevil doesn't make that episode a 10, just know that there's a level pissed off.
You will have to rethink your whole selection.
Oh, my whole life at that point.
Hey, dog, you need to do that now, bruh. What are you talking about, bruh?
Nah, I just think with everything, with the snippets that we've gotten, it's going to pay off, and I think it's going to make this episode. But I think I'm just able to put it in a better spot now. But by the time we're finished, I feel like it's going to sit overall in the higher ratings, especially what pans out by the end of the show.
Okay. Okay. Stand your ground, bro. Plant your feet. Draw the line in the sand.
Whether I'm wrong or not, I'm owning it, and I'm gonna stand here, and I'm gonna.
I mean, listen. The truth of the matter is, bro, this is your opinion. You can't really be wrong. It doesn't mean you're right. That's a real thing. Not being wrong doesn't necessarily mean you're right. That's a real thing.
Is that another closing of the show right there that you just made up?
Yeah, but that takes more explaining. Like this, it takes more explaining. And I mean, like, listen, it's your opinion, so you can own it. It's your choice. I'm just me asking you how you rank this for you. If you say it's a 9, it's a 9. I would not expect that you would, in a conversation about this show with someone who hasn't seen it, tell them that there is a single episode that you've seen so far that it's a 9. Because I don't think that you think that anybody else would sit down and watch what you've seen after you told them it was a 9 and come back and be like, yo, you was right. Boy, crazy, son. Like, I don't believe you believe that. There's no part of me that believes that you believe that if you were sitting down on recommendation for somebody else and telling them why they should watch, like right now, you're telling me that if you were recommending this show to somebody to watch who hasn't seen anything MCU, hasn't seen any of the Disney Plus MCU shows at all, you're saying that this episode is the reason to watch this show.
No, but that is not how I would explain it. Like, you can't tell, like, just because of that one episode that you should go and watch this. I don't think that can work with any of these Disney Plus shows. Because like, even though we can rate these episodes, 8, 9, let's say there was a 10 out there. I can't just tell someone to watch it off of that one episode.
Why not? I mean, look, don't get me wrong. If you were here telling me there were 2s and 3s, and then we jump from 2s and 3s to a 9 or a 10, like, yeah, no, you can't recommend it based on that. But you're still saying that this right now is the best episode of this entire show, meaning that you would have to rest. Like, yo, you should absolutely watch this joint. Wait till you get to episode 7. Like, that's where we are, because right now it is sitting at the high. Again, I'm almost positive a 9 is the highest rank you've given anything. And I don't think you've given a 9 to any. I don't think you gave a 9 to anything in WandaVision.
I feel like Loki, I think I may have given 1 9 somewhere. I think Loki is where I gave.
It's possible. But I can right now think about episodes of Loki where I will be like, yo, there's an episode where Slim shows up.
Oh no, like, I can definitely do that.
Lokis, bro, and they fighting each other and pushing each other. It's an alligator Loki, it's a black Loki, and I can give you episodes where I'll be like, Slim. You're telling me right now that this episode was that episode.
Within the confines of this show.
Wait till you get to the first joint with Porcupine Man, Slim. That's what you're telling me, bro. That's what I'm saying. You're saying, right? Because you.
Porcupine Man, bro? Oh my god! Wait till you get there.
That's all I'm saying.
We just get through the last 2 episodes, and we'll see if it plays out that this is better than when everything is completed. See, then I'm good. I just feel like I can do it now.
You get to the Man Bull joint. Hey, dog, if you told me you laughed till you cried watching this joint, I'd be like, oh, all right. No. I'm not. I feel like when this is all said and done, you're going to go back and rethink how you do your rankings.
I probably will. I mean, once it's complete, I think we'll all look at it a little bit different.
Now, I don't mean when episode 9 is over. I mean when we turn this off. When we stop recording this episode, I think you're going to be like,
nah, it's not going to happen after this.
He'll be stubborn right now and just stick to his guns for now.
But listen, that's all it is. Right now, Jokes, I feel like you're just being stubborn. And again, that's cool. It's your opinion. If you think, for for you. This is one of the highest. This is one of the best episodes of TV you've ever seen.
But I'm not comparing it like that. Like I already told you, this show I'm rating this on the confines of being the She-Hulk show. That is it.
I mean, I get it. You're telling me that like there are episodes of like Chicago PD
I'm about to say no.
That are better than this.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. It's a completely different scale than y'all.
24
so
on
with
this
a grain
worst.
of salt. But I think that's important
worst.
to make people understand, right? That you have to take it with a grain of salt. Mm. People need to understand how you're ranking it. I'm telling you right now, hey, listen. You shoot a reel right now. As soon as we end this, and upload that joint to the Loading Snacks. Put it on everything. Put it on YouTube. Put it on TikTok. Put it on Twitter, and say episode 7 of She-Hulk is a 9, and watch what happens. Watch what happens.
Ain't gonna do
it. Be like, what dog? What was you watching? Like, even if you thought the joint was good.
First off, let me tell you something. That would be our most watched real TikTok thing ever.
Period.
Ever would blow everything out the water.
Period, bro. And this is listen. Hashtag justice for jokes. That's all I'm saying. Justice for jokes. Bro, if this joint jokes ranks at a 9. I can't. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been your spoiler boys for episode 7 of She-Hulk. 8, 8, and a 9.
Just for that, Daredevil ain't gonna show up in the next episode. he gonna get the last episode.
Hey, listen, I'm okay with that.
He's coming regardless, huh?
Yeah, he's gonna show up. So like, I'm okay with that. Are you threatening me, bro? Like,
no, right.
Is that a threat? Like, is that supposed to like? Why? Because
it wasn't designed to be a threat. It was just to ruin your prediction.
Just for that, he not gonna show up. I don't care. I don't care. What I do care about is whether or not when he does show up, if it's a 10 or not. Which right now, there's no way it can't be. It has to be just by the sheer. Like, you can just tell us right now that episode is a 10. You don't even have to see it. Because there's no way an episode with Daredevil in it can't be a 10. It has to be a 10. Because it absolutely has to be better than this episode just because he's in it. Just because he's in it. And for real, if he's Matt Murdock and Daredevil, 11. Has to be. It has to be, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, your scale's broke. That's all I'm saying.
The scale will work. If it gets it because of 10, it's fine. Scale won't be broke.
Scale's broke. I can't wait to hear what y'all have to say about this one.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure more of it will be about what Jokes has to say about this episode than it will be about the episode itself, which is perfectly fine.
Perfectly fine.
You are entitled to your opinion, sir. And I am entitled to fight it. But, hey, Sin, has there been an episode of She-Hulk that you think is better than this episode was?
Yeah.
Okay. Jokes, is there an episode you think is better than this episode?
Moments?
No. Episode.
No. Why?
That wasn't a question. No. That wasn't a question. That was a statement. Period. I don't know if necessarily the whole episode. I think moments.
I just want you to know that inflection counts. When you go moments, it was like a question. Like you didn't say moments. Moments? Like, that's a question, sir. But okay. So there are moments that are better than this episode, but not episodes that are better than this episode.
I don't think so.
including the other episode that's a 9. The other episode that's a 9 is not better than this episode. It's equal with this episode. You think this is a better episode?
This is the one that I thought was better than the one that I rated at 9. That's why I was.
So why can't that joint? I just listen. Hey, look, bro. I want to let it go so bad, but I can't.
Hey, look, I just realized what I said. No, as far as this being, with the other episodes better, for the most part, this whole thing has been like an 8 for me, like just kind of smooth sailing with it. So no, I thought it was just on par with the most of what I've seen.
With the other stuff you've seen.
Yeah.
Hey, but jokes. So the other episode that's a 9. This episode is better than that episode.
I feel like this one is better than that episode.
So this is like, again, because you was ready to rank that one down and then you changed your mind.
Right, because of what you were saying. So like, I would put that one in line with the rest. And like, I feel like by the time we get to the end of the show, there's a possibility that may change.
But this is the reason why I push back on that. Because when we talked about that episode wasn't in line with the rest. It was better than all the rest. So what I'm saying is, if this episode is better than that episode, and that episode is better than all the rest of the episodes, then if you bump that episode down to an 8, everything else has to bump down as well. That's what I'm saying. How does a joint being better bump the last episode down to the same as everything else, but not knock everything else down? And I'm telling you that I believe it's because of a fear of being like, well, no, I don't feel like the show is a 7. And that would mean that all these other episodes are 7s to me instead of being 8s. And that throws off how you feel about the entire thing, right? It's like,
maybe by the time I get to the end, I'll be okay with dropping the other episodes down to a 7. Maybe at that point, once we have all, I'll drop the rest.
Why do you have to get to the end of it?
When the next episode is a 10, then you'll be willing to leave this at a 9 and drop the other episodes down to
I think
8
at that point,
7.
then I'll drop it to the 8 and the 7. I need to see it. It first.
Why do you have to see all the way to the end to put your score together instead of just keeping the episode contained? We know we're all enjoying it for the most part.
Because I feel like once you have the whole foundation of where it's going to, like, I feel like with tidbits and things that we've gotten, it's going to make the episode 1, it's going to make it more important. I enjoyed it regardless.
Sure.
But I feel like once the importance of certain things that happen in episodes comes to light, it's going to end up making that show feel a little bit better. It's kind of the same way we said with
I mean, I say that all the time. Like, I get it. Like, I'm one of those people who's like, Thor: The Dark World right now is a better movie than it was when it came out, because if you watch it now, there are things that are in that movie that mean way more now.
Iron Man 3.
Than they did
and that's how I feel about Iron Man 3. Like, I hated Iron Man 3, but then once like Shang-Chi and things came out and we had some things show up, I was kind of like, there
are other things that I get that. There are other things that elevated it. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying that. I do believe that your ranking for the entire show as a whole, once you've seen every episode, could change. Even if you feel like the individual, the scores for the individual maybe didn't change as much, right? Like, you know, I feel like when it's all said and done.
But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying though about if I drop one down, if I'm trying to drop it in line versus if it's better, it should just drop everything else. I get what you're saying on that side. I get that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, again, and this is a little bit less about you than it is like a thing about people and their scales as a whole. Where I just feel like people are just scared to say something's like a 7. Like, you want it to be good and you want people to feel like you feel like it's good.
Bad. A 7's not bad. But I feel like I don't.
No, technically a 7 is good.
Yeah, but I don't.
But there are a lot of people who I think wouldn't sit down and take the time to watch 9 episodes or something that's a 7.
Absolutely. It's like they do that with,
it's an 8. Like, it was solid, right?
We see that in gaming all the time. Like, a review will come out, it'll say 7, it'll say good right next to it, and they'll put the reasons why they say that in there, but people absolutely just turn away from it only because it's got a 7.
7. No, I get that.
Which is why rankings are controversial to begin with.
Absolutely. But when you say like a game at a 7, the difference though is they've at least completed, like, say, the whole story or the whole campagn or whatever to get to the 7. So I feel like right now, like, is the fact that once
but then you're talking about them ranking it as a whole, right? But if it's a game that was like an episodic game, like a Telltale game, you still rank the episodes individually because you're ranking it based on what that particular episode did for you. And you can do that within the context of the other episodes that have existed. If you're on the third episode of 5,
Right.
you can say this one sits here compared to these other episodes that I've played because it's going somewhere, right? And we don't have the full story. But if you're ranking it just as how She-Hulk is, and you're not ranking it against other MCU shows, then you're also ranking this episode individually against the individual scores of all the other episodes that you've seen so far. And if this episode is a 9, right? Which again, that's super high, bro. If you go to somebody right now and you tell them, if I was like, yo, this episode was a 9, I'm screaming from the rooftops, y'all need to be watching She-Hulk, bro. That joint has episodes that are a straight up 9, bro. Like, that's...
I will do it in a heartbeat.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
if it's a show that
I would be telling people, like, yo, if you're not watching She-Hulk, you're tripping right now. That's what a 9 means to me, even within the confines of just She-Hulk. So I'm saying that if you're saying this show has 2 9s out of 7 episodes with still 2 to go, it can't get worse.
It's on track to be one of the best MCU shows, period.
Period, bruh. If you have a season of television that is only 9 episodes, and 2 of the 9 episodes are straight up 9s, that's saying you need to be watching this. That's not like I recommend it, you should watch it, like it's pretty good. This joint has 2 9s. That's high. That's, hey, bro, you need to be watching this. That's literally being like, it's gonna have like a little bit of a lull getting there. Oh, but bro, when you get to episode 7, Slim, that's literally what you're saying.
When Man Bull comes into play, it's a whole different ball.
Bro, when they bust that Prius done, what?
It's a wrap.
Oh my God, bro. When
It's all
Josh
downhill
gets
from
the
there.
information from her phone, dog, when they share that second plate of fries, bro, that's what you're telling me. You are literally going into high-pitched voice mode talking about this episode of this show to everyone. When you say it's a 9 is an octave range, bro. That's going up. Oh my God, bro. This episode here. That's what you're doing, son. That's what I'm saying. If you, in your very calm, chill heart right now, sit here looking at me, right? If this is how you're not, if you're not, it is cool, bro. You're telling me
I know
this is IMAX level TV.
But see,
this is put that.
I think that's over. I think that's overselling.
When it comes to Dick Wolf shows,
when I get my Dick Wolf shows, it's different.
He be out there.
It's different. No, yes.
That Law and Order, that Chicago. Oh.
But it's different. That's what, like, that's.
I'm not.
I get it. I get your pushbacks. I get it.
Hey, bro, listen. This is all I'm saying. I'm saying you're floating in dangerous territory, and you need to be prepared mentally and verbally to defend your position to the entire internet. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
My man. That's it.
Perfectly fine with that.
That's it. I'm good with that if you're good with that. Listen, again, this has been episode 7, Spoiler Boys, She-Hulk. We're so glad y'all hung out with us today. We'll see y'all again next Monday for episode 8. Can't wait, because it's going to be great, aka a 10. Right, Joe?
If Daredevil shows up, it's going to be a 10.
We out.
Open up.
Loading snacks.